Just have. No. I just pressed go. Sorry. I am in charge here. That's you told. He's in the middle of watching something. Good evening. Hello, I'm in charge here tonight. It's me on the main channel. Welcome to Chaos. And it's hot. I'm in a new house, and yes, here we go. Right. I don't know where Donk is. Invite sent to you, lad. So, yes, I am back. I am here. On the channel. That can only work once, fella. You're 5, not 35. I think my little boy's enjoying the Olympics more than me in a minute. Mister, the Olympics is on for ages. Don't worry, you can watch highlights. Oh, no. Is this... I did send you an invite. I think we're in the usual madness. You're not able to join. Right, let me try something. I sent you an invite. I think we might be in the usual... We probably lose so many viewers because Instagram could be a bit... Hey, there we go. I've got you working. Good evening, Sam. How are you doing?
John, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Good. Hot, sweating, and I'm in the middle of building a bed. So that's what I'm doing during this stream. How about yourself? What were you up to at your side of things?
Well, went down to Home Depot today and picked up some hooks and stuff to hang stuff up, and I got a wrench because we had a little tiny leak on one of the taps.
Oh,
so I have to remember English terms because they don't call them taps here; they call them faucets.
Got a leaky faucet.
Leaky faucet. Yeah, exactly. But yes, mate. Yeah, so I did that. But yeah, it's stormy here at the moment. From what I'm hearing, we've kind of swapped weather with the UK, and we've had storms for the last 3-4 days. It's been like 90 degrees, which is like 30 odd, but it's been stormy, super thunderstorms and stuff like that.
Crikey. But I say, how's everything in Florida treating you? You all good?
Yeah, all right, mate. Actually, yeah, it's getting there. We've got one more bathroom to do, and finish off, and then when we got enough money saved up, probably get the windows changed, and maybe change up a bit of the guttering on the outside of the house. But apart from that, mate, we're golden. It's livable, which is what I wanted it to be. So
Sweet.
how are you doing? How are you doing with yours? Well. Has it been a bit of a headache with your move?
No, to be honest with you. Okay. It's been pretty solid. We've been in, I think we got in Friday afternoon. Where are we now? Tuesday evening. We've pretty much got everything that we need to unpacked. I think there's just a couple of lingering boxes. So that's gone well. My partner's currently repainting what was a cupboard and turning it into an office for herself. So that's not too bad either. It's just that at the moment, I think
that word you used to describe your missus drives me potty, by the way. Partner. God, look, it's either your bird, your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, whatever, mate. It's partner is just like such a no. No,
She's
I didn't realise you were so
just shouted in.
trendy.
She's just shouted in. I'm not his bird.
Okay, all
Or
right.
his bird.
Girlfriend, fiance, what is it?
Not fiance. I just girlfriend. But the problem is, I say girlfriend. I'm in my 40s. Saying girlfriend makes it feel like I'm 12.
There's nothing
So I
wrong with that.
just feel a bit more adult saying my partner and I.
Oh God, yeah, you just sound like some sort of West Coast hipster with my partner. But yes, it
No,
means not married.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We've been together a bit too long and have never done anything about it.
How long have you been with your missus, Casey?
We've been together 8, 9 years.
That's
9 years this year.
way
She's
too
down in
long
9 years.
without putting a ring on it, mate. To be honest with you.
Shut up, man. The sore point. We've just bought a house, yeah.
There you go. Well, the next step is, you know what the next step after having a house together?
Well, we've already had a kid, so.
So there you go. You're a bit behind, mate, with all of that. But that's good. Well, I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad it's gone well and easy for you.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think if anything, the weirdest thing I've found is that the internet works everywhere absolutely fine. Because where we were before, it was like really, it wasn't like a proper house. It was like a ground floor flat, but
Yeah.
it was so bloody long. It was like you were doing 100 meters to get from the kitchen to answer the door.
Yeah.
And the Wi-Fi didn't cover it. Here, I've got Wi-Fi all up the end and to the end of my garden, which just feels grown up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going all well, mate. So thank you very much.
Did you get a moving company, or did you just pack a van and move it yourself?
We got a moving company in. We got someone local to where we used to be. They filled 2 small Luton vans with our stuff. Because doing it ourselves, me, my girlfriend, there you go,
There you go.
and the boy would have been it would have been too much for us all. So the guys we had were like absolutely blinding. They came in, they blitzed our old house, managed to get everything in here pretty rapid.
Nice.
Can't complain at all. I'm just getting Duncan now because he's just arrived. Yeah, all going well. There we go. And there's our co-host for the eve. So we are all here now. Lovely stuff. Good evening, Dunk.
Hi, Warpy. All right, Casey, how are we all doing?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Did you enjoy all the stories that Casey put up about your way on, Sam?
Yeah. You know what? I was honoured. You could have gone. You know, like we did, like sex offender. We did convicted killer. There was a lot, so I appreciate that. You know, it was a really nice introduction of all those random lot. So thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
It wasn't me. It was Dunk. I literally only logged on to this like 10 minutes ago. I thought,
I knew it was Dunk. I know it was Dunk. I know you're so busy.
Listen, who is on the Inquisition chat and who's on their own personal page? So that kind of leads to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got nothing to do with it. I'm sick. Do you know what I mean? Like, got a gammy arm, can't type.
you can say hello.
Hello.
What's happening, dude? How you doing?
Hey, wee man, how you doing?
Oscar, you're in your pants.
Yeah.
Is it a bit hot?
Hey, thank God Oscar's in his pants. My one's just running around without anything. So I've locked the door because I don't want him streaking.
It's not an
Oscar?
inquisition. It's not an
Oscar.
inquisition without a kid running into it in a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oscar, how old are you, Oscar?
I'm just like 5 years old.
5 years old. So you're the same age as my son, William.
Yeah, and I'm even going to year 1.
Yeah.
You're going to year 1?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're old now?
Have you been? Has he been to play school or not?
Not today. You spent your day out with Mummy, didn't you, today?
Yeah. I'm going somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to your summer camp tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oscar,
Yeah.
what football team do you support, Oscar?
Palace, Sunderland, from the Stratton.
Stratton's ice hockey, you pleb.
Yeah, but I support them.
And you still support them. Yeah, he's cursed for sports. Palace and Sunderland and England and Bromley. And now Peterborough probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a team in every league.
It's good. It's good. Hi.
Right, well,
Bye.
you going to go to bed?
Yeah, bye-bye.
Go on and get yourself off.
See you, Oscar.
See you in the morning. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Can you do your Scottish accent for Dunk?
That's good.
It's probably better than my Danny Dyer / Ross Kemp accent that I tried to repeat you.
My girlfriend taught him that. It wasn't me.
This week on the Inquisition, fucking Duncan is shitting himself as he interviews Warpy from London. You fucking slag.
Hey, this is starting good already.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for coming back on again. Obviously, you're a busy man, as we've seen with some of your reels that were posted up today. That you're such a busy man with your influencers and your minions. How did the house move go, buddy? How did that go?
All right, actually, yeah, it's not too bad. We're nearly there at the moment. I've got one more bathroom to finish off, which is our master bath, our ensuite, that attaches to our bedroom. But apart from that, now everything's gone. Like we have to like I said to my wife earlier, you have to sometimes like sit down and realize what you've done over the time. So when we got in here and actually looking at the pictures of what state it was when we got in it and to what it is now, where we're actually living comfortable, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you know, you throw a lot of money at it and it's never ending, to be honest with you. When you got a house, it's been kind of daunting in that way, but this isn't the like I'm grateful. Like this is the third house I've had, fourth house I've had in America since I moved here like 15 years ago.
Bloody
and I wouldn't have been able to afford any of the houses that I've been in if I'd have been back in the UK sort of thing. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it was fun. Sort of I've been learning new skills. There's been a lot of Warhammer related skills like that you can bring over, especially like you look at it and go painting. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to paint the walls. You know what? I'm going texturizing, and I'm doing all of that sort of stuff with like orange peel and knockdown texture. And I'm like, I'm honestly thinking, I'm like, can I do some of this on a board? You know, can you incorporate something like that on a board and do that sort of texture? But there's been a lot of good fun, you know, like especially like rinsing out brushes and stuff. You know how to wash the brushes out properly when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love a nail gun. I've been absolutely having so much fun with a nail gun. It's battery operated. I've got like a mix of Makita and DeWalt tools, so it's honestly been really fun to just sort of get stuff done. But yeah, I've got one more room to do, and then the whole house has got a complete rehaul, and then I've got a few little bits to do, and then maybe the windows eventually when I save up some money, because the windows here in Florida ridiculously expensive because you've got to have them hurricane proof, and they're like 4 or 5 inches thick of like different panes of glass, and it's just mental because that you have to sort of pay extra for all of that sort of thing, and like patio doors or anything that's like facing, even the front doors got to have big old thick glass in it for impact rating, they call it over here, for stuff flying in the air and stuff. But yeah, apart from that, no, we're golden, mate. It's been rough because we did a lot of it ourselves, but we thankfully got a little thing called a pod, which is like a container. We loaded it up one end, they drive it all over here and they leave it outside your house, and then you can grab all of the stuff out of it gradually and move in, which is kind of a nice little thing. But yeah, it's been all right. It sounds like it's been rougher than Casey's. Casey's sounds like it's been easy, but you know, it is what it is. It's all right, you know.
Yeah, like I feel jealous that you two have moved and I haven't, but I fucking hate moving.
It's not mate. I hate moving. It's not the best thing in the world, but we haven't moved as much as Sam has in the last 15 years. What did you say? Like 4 in 15?
Yeah, this is my fourth house in 15 years, and it's it's rough, but honestly, like Warhammer, I just pack all my Warhammer stuff up in my black and yellow containers, my totes, and then they kind of stay in there till I can get around to it.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's kind of good to like move now and then. People that don't, I'm a bit of a hoarder. Like I think any Warhammer collector is a bit of a hoarder, really.
Yeah.
But I think when you can actually start moving, you're forced to like reduce down the crap and the tut that you have, and that for me has been awesome because it's we've gone when we moved like a year ago. We had like a 26-foot container and we got rid of a load more stuff, and then we reduced it down to like a 18-foot container. So we're getting rid of more and more shit the more you move, because you realize what's more important to you and what you really want to keep, sort of thing. So it's been a bit easier that way. But yeah, I've moved around.
Yeah, I think I've been with Geraldine 20 years in August, and we have moved 5 times,
Oof,
and
Yeah.
and one of them is moving from Scotland to Donegal, and that was horrendous, like absolutely brutal. But it's like I still like the last time when we moved our third time, I've still got boxes in the attic that I've not unpacked.
Yeah, first thing I did when we got here, well, not the first thing, most recent thing was getting up in the loft. And we don't have the biggest ladder to get up there. So I was standing at the end of essentially one of the world's smallest step ladders, throwing stuff in through a hatch and hoping it landed on the right bit and didn't come crashing back through a ceiling of another room. But yeah, it's just.
Yeah, so you've been out. You were obviously moving there, and then you were like rebuilding the house. Did you enjoy the hobby break that you had then?
Yes and no. To be honest with you, I hate not hobbying because it's a really good mental escape for me, and I was very stressed, as anybody would be with the amount of work being able to be done. You just get stressed out with it, and you're constantly going. But it was nice to kind of refocus and actually work out what I wanted to do, and kind of just take a break from it. It's always just nice to take a break from it, and I needed to take a break from it anyway because I do a lot in my spare time at my lunch breaks and after work. I'm on here live streaming and painting and chatting to folks and everything else. So it was nice to take a break from that. It was also really nice to kind of for the people to actually miss me. I know the amount of abuse that I get for fucking live streaming all the time from you lot and others, which is fine. I like it. But there was actually people that messaged me sort of saying, do you know what, we miss you. No one's really been live streaming that much while you're gone, and they it was nice to be missed that way, sort of thing. But yeah, I missed it. It's good to refocus and take a break for a while. I think it's healthy in our hobby from time to time to take a break, go and take a vacation. Read a book if you really still need that Warhammer fix. Read a Warhammer book. I'm sending Casey a book over and a little care package for him, just because I want some of his Horus Heresy books. I don't. If you got any books you want to swap, I'll send you one as well. Look at that. Look at his mouth. Look, his mouth was opening. He was like,
I'm all about the freebies. All about the freebies. Yeah, man. Like I think you're bang on there. Like, because like even with doing this, you do need that wee break. And obviously, when I'm up fishing and you're constantly streaming, jumping on and seeing you at 3 o'clock in the morning is always a highlight of my fishing trip. And speaking to random Americans.
So
Yeah, man, we did
the
miss you.
highlight of the fishing trip is not catching something. It's not, coming away with the feeling like, look at me, I've wrestled this river beast. It's being at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh, it's Sam streaming. I know, I'll jump on.
I'm going to see what random Yank or British person in some obscure country that Sam's speaking to today, because like you've got obviously there's a good few expats in America, and then you've got a few ex-Americans living in Japan. Like you're worldwide, mate. You are worldwide.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
I've been lucky. Like we're kind of like filling up with all the. There's not a lot of Asians that pop on from like Japan, like unless they're English speaking Americans. Or there's a guy that we had on the other day that lives north of Tokyo, about an hour, 2 hours north of Tokyo. He's Dutch. Really nice guy. A Dutch guy that lives in Japan. We've got a couple of Aussies that have popped on. There's Down Under Dave, I call him, Wasteland Modelling. He's really cool. He's down in Brisbane. Kiwis, there's Melissa Paints. She's lovely. She's down in New Zealand. I think she's New Zealand. But yeah, honestly, it's really good fun. And there's like Saint Celestine and Dennis and those sorts of guys that are down in South Africa. But yeah, you know, it's nice because, as I said, where I'm located now, I kind of get to, you know, on my lunch breaks and this sort of time, I get to speak to folks back in the UK and that kind of time zone that back there. And then when I jump on later at night, I've got like Pikey Dave from Wales who lives in Vegas. He jumps on a lot. And other Americans that look like they kind of jump on at that time as well. So yeah, we're truly, you know, sort of like international, which is kind of fun. But I love it, dude. It's great meeting people, and that's one of the things that I miss really about having where I've moved to. There's not really a big Warhammer community. There really isn't. There's probably 10 people that play it within like 45-minute radius of me. The shop that I go to has got a small Warhammer offering. They're a comic book store. There's no Warhammer store within like 2 hours of where I live. And that's Tallahassee. That's over in the state capital of Florida. That's like 2.25 hours away from me. It's the nearest Warhammer store. So yeah, you know, you're in the. Well, I'm in the deep south, but it's difficult. But Instagram's fantastic because it allows me to talk shit to you lot, you know, regularly. And sort of still have some sense of community being in the middle of nowhere. So I love it. But yeah, that's what it's there for.
And because obviously you said there that you were getting rid of a lot of stuff. Have you rid of much Warhammer? Have you decided that there's a lot of stuff that you weren't going to paint that you like gifted on to other people or sold on eBay or anything like that? Or you kept all that?
There's a few folks locally that I'm trying to get into the hobby that I've given little bits away just to kind of see if they, you know, it's like that crack dealer. Here, son, have a little bit of this, you know, try this and see if you like it type thing. And they've kind of, I feel bad because all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I just spent $200 on a box set, you know, an army box set or whatever it is on it after me giving them some bits. So I do feel a little bit bad sometimes, but it's nice. I want to build the community up around here, and that for me is important. But yeah, I'm trying. I'm probably gonna be selling more off in the next few weeks, really, and trying to sort of streamline it a little bit. I've got so much shit, dude. It's nuts. So I really do need to. Plus, it'll be nice to have a bit of money, a bit more cash to spend on the house and get other little bits done on the house, if you know what I mean.
Now you say that you're going to spend it on a house, but are you just going to just turn it over and turn it into more plastic and have more boxes?
Yeah, it's stuff that I'm regretting buying already. One of the ones, the Tau Crew box set that I got.
Yeah.
And I bought a couple of extra characters to go with that. And I'm like, I'm not going to paint this in the near future, so I'm probably going to get rid of that. I've got a Deathwing Knights box set that I picked up, and I'll probably sell some of the miniatures out of that and kind of go from there. But I don't know. There's lots that I need to go through and start working out if I'm going to keep them or get rid of them. What about you, Casey? Did you get rid of any before your move or not?
I've got rid of a few bits, but not as much as I think someone would have liked me to. Yeah, there you go. The comment was, if you didn't hear it, bullshit, you got rid of fuck all.
Bless her.
But yeah, I mean, there's some bits like, I don't know, because my collection's like, I wouldn't say I go as broad as yourself or other people do. Like, I really try and limit myself into like one army at a time or one project at a time. So I think the last thing I picked up before we moved was some Uruk-hai because myself and Sarah, one of her workmates, like we used to play Lord of the Rings. We were learning it before we moved, and we'll probably still continue with that. So I've got like a decent sized Uruk-hai scout force, but apart from that, I think really it's just a few kill teams, and it's just like you say, it's just the random bits I think you end up with more than anything. Like, um, I've still got some Death Guard stuff. I've given Dunk a load of the Death Guard. Still got some bits here and there. Um, I've got a lot of odds and sods bits, like the few random Warhammer Plus ones, or just something that tickles my fancy. Like I think once I'm finally settled and can start painting again, I would love to get my Necrons finished, which it doesn't need much. I'm not going to buy much to add to it, and just try and just finish off the few little bits here and there before I sit down and think, right, what am I going to do next?
How
But
many points? How many points do you have in your Necron army?
point wise, I think I was pushing just over 1,000 now. It's not built to play properly. Like the choices and units and stuff like that I've actually put on make absolutely no sense. Like no one plays warriors, but I've got 2 huge blobs of 20. So, just stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just a case of having a look, seeing what I feel the case should be next, and going from there. But I mean, yeah, there's probably some stuff I could sell. Like I was saying, like the Horus Heresy books. I've read as many of them as I want a couple of times. There's a few I didn't really enjoy and read once. Why have I still got that stuff? Why didn't I just straight away be like, who wants this next?
Dude, I'll take them. As I said, I'm going to send you some books to swap for them, and you can take them, donate them, whatever you want to do. I like doing that with books, like swapping it. There's stuff that I've read 2-3 times. If I'm not like enamored with it, or I sometimes buy doubles as well. For some reason, my memory these days, I'll end up like going out and going, oh, that's good. Come home and then I've already got it, and I'm like, shite. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm collecting Star Wars books just now. I'm trying to collect a lot of the kind of ones that were written in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm back trying to collect them, and I'll probably do the same as you and get rid of my Horus Heresy books. Apart from the ones that I really, really like, I'll probably get rid of the ones like Mechanicum and any other ones that I don't really see keeping, to be honest.
I think with books though, there's like you never as great as it's nowadays that you can download them all. Physically having a book in your hand, you can't beat it sometimes. Like I've got a couple of ebooks on my phone, and I sit there and I'm reading them on a night and I fall asleep. But at least with your book, if you're sitting there, you can like, I'm going to do X amount of chapters. When it's just on your phone, you're just like, yeah. You're done.
Read that, and that's what got me into painting the Emperor's Children again. And I'm just like, oh.
That's why Casey put up that first reel about you today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's coincidental that the guy was purple and you were painting purple, but
yeah, hey, it's all good, dude. What was his name? What was the character's name in The Big Lebowski?
Jesus. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
That's it. Yeah.
Jesus,
yeah. Just the convicted kiddie fiddler. Yeah, thanks for that.
And it cuts to the scene where then he has to go around and trap people's doors when he's wearing his normal clothes. Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because, as I said, I was struggling to find a 30k army that I wanted to paint, and I love Saltarvitz. I love that character. He's such an awesome character in the Heresy. So,
do you know what? I actually like Lucius. There's
really?
a lot of things that there's a lot of. I think he's probably one of the most. He's a tragic character because he is the best swordsman in the Emperor's Children, and he just wants this grandiosity about him, but he's always overshadowed by somebody else. Like, for example, is it Children where he gets his nose broke off the Lunar Wolf, and that's the first time that he's been defeated. It's like you feel sorry for him. He's like a kind of good baddie, and then obviously when Saul Tarvitz kind of takes over the rebels, and he's like a kind of everyday sort of guy. He's just looking for that to be number one, but he's always going to be in somebody's shadow, and I like that character. I thought that was a great character.
Yeah, I like the fact that they were talking, and they always drop Sigismund in there as being the best swordsman of the whole of the heresy. And you're right. Lucius was always like jealous of that he wanted to be up there, sort of thing. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot. The Emperor's Children have got some characters in there that are really dicky. Like Eidolon, I absolutely hate Eidolon. I think he's absolutely, he's very, very close to Erebus for the level of fuckery with that dog.
Arrogance.
And yeah, the arrogance of him is just amazing. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I kind of liked it, and I've kind of painted them up so that they're going to be pretty much a loyalist. I can play them as either loyalist or not. So I'm either going to have like Saul Tarvitz leading a load of loyalist Emperor's Children, or I'll possibly get a Fulgrim model or Eidolon or something like that, and then run them as whatever I need to, sort of thing. So it's good that way.
Is there any
I
other
think that's the good thing about a lot of the
sorry,
heresy stuff, that you can run it as one or the other, can't you? There's no restriction as to how you want to. Oh, you're playing a traitor legion. That's it. They're traitors. You've got to play them as traitors.
Yeah. Now, and there are still characters as well that you could run them as to make them loyalists, and there's some in the Death Guard like Garrow. You could potentially do a kind of, I don't know, I think he's got rules for the Black Shields anyway, sort of thing. But I'm sure there are other characters that are in all of the legions that you could grab them as and just have it as a generic captain type thing and play it, fluff wise that way. But and the modeling that you can model a lot more chaosy stuff on some of the traitors, and then keep them pretty vanilla-y plain for loyalists. So yeah, I like that.
Is there any other 30k legions out there that you would fancy tackling?
Fists are the only ones. Imperial fists. That's probably going to be. I'll do a small force of fists, because the box set, the Age of Darkness box set, comes with so many Marines, like 50, 60 Marines, and then 10 Cataphracti Terminators, and then a tank and a Dreadnought. There's like a lot to paint in purple if I just go straight purple. So I think I'm going to do enough for like a 1,500 points of Emperor's Children, and then maybe 1,500 points of Imperial Fists, and then take a break. I'm not doing all these Emperor's Children in one either. I've got like 20 more models to do, and then that'll be the first kind of wave of Emperor's Children that I'm going to do and get done and call it good.
And what paints are you using for your purple?
So for the purple, I'm using it's kind of a weird one. I'm base coating it in like a dark purple from Monument. It's one of their what's it called? Dark plum, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, royal purple from Monument, and then it's a Vallejo color that I'm using, which is this one here. It's like a Vallejo pink, but it's actually called Warlord Purple. And it's just a nice kind of purple color, and it actually comes with that purple base underneath. It comes sort of quite through nicely on the models. But I got really, it's a Zenithal with an airbrush sort of like kind of over the top Inferno. Yeah, it's just a delicate, gentle. The opacity on the pink that I just had a second ago, wherever it's gone, this one, the opacity on that is similar to my logo. That's why I kind of like it. It's like a magenta color, but the opacity on this isn't the craziest, so it actually goes on nicely over that purple and just gives it a kind of nice color. I wanted a little bit different, and again, I wanted it potentially so that I could run them as 40k Emperor's Children as well if I wanted to further down the line. So,
and obviously we had the tactical painter on a few weeks ago. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy speaking to him?
It was good to chat to other people that are out there that not only have entered Golden Demon, but have got a good sense of community with the hobby as a whole. And someone like that works for Army Painter, it's got just a little bit. It's good to find out like a little bit of an insight into the company and how they're running and how things are going. And yeah, he's a knowledgeable guy, and easy to talk to. So yeah, it was great talking to him.
I think my biggest takeaway from the Army Painter side of it was how small a company they are when he started. Like, when you see the amount of paints and products that they have out there, you'd assume that they were a massive company, but from what he was saying, they're pretty small.
Yeah, I think they've got like I don't want to sort of like estimate, but I'm sure there's like 50 employees, roughly like that, worldwide. And they seem like they're solid, but they've got that impression of being a big company now, which is great.
And obviously, having used to on, I think my biggest regret was letting you talk about golf, because golf is a shite sport.
Coming from a Scottish person, love that. Coming from a Scottish person
You
who invented it.
Yeah. We've invented a lot of things. We're not going to like everything that we invent, but golf is probably one of those things. You're just chasing a ball for no reason.
Blimey. No, I love golf, man. Especially where I live now, I can golf all year round and it's sunny. So, for me, it's a great way to do business. A lot of my clients, my 9-to-5 job, play golf. So it's nice to take them out and have a round of golf and have a cigar and a few beers and just chill out. That's how you play golf over here. It's not all serious. It's have a few beers, like literally 6-7 beers on a round of golf, few cigars. You don't walk around there either. Americans in general are very, very lazy, so everybody rides a cart, and you can just it's phenomenal. It's good fun whacking a ball around for a few hours.
Hey, that's enough for the golf chat, because we had enough of that 3 weeks ago, and I fucking hate golf. Right, so a question I meant to ask you when you were on last year: where does the name Warpy Studios come from?
So I don't honestly. I just thought it up. It wasn't anything completely like but I was looking at a logo, and that's what I do for my 9-to-5. So I do my job 9-to-5. Like brand companies, market, graphic design, web design, and those sorts of things. And I was like, I had a good chat with Stevie, the guy that runs Baron of Dice. Lovely guy, super lovely guy. And I'm sure if you wanted to get him on here to have a chat with him, he would be more than welcome to jump on and have a chat with you guys about running a dice company. But I was talking to him about it, and we were just kind of like chatting and coming up with sort of names and stuff like that. And I came up with like Warpgate as a potential logo in a nice circle type thing, with and if you look back on my original logo, it was kind of more of a Stargate type thing with a beam of light coming through a circle type thing, and that was really it. And it's just run with it, since. And it's weird, but it's kind of like part of me now, really, Warpgate. And I've got another guy that helps out with the marketing side of things, a guy called Jonesy, who's in the military, and he helps out now and then with that, which is kind of cool. But yeah, apart from that, mate, it's just a name that I came up with. Nothing Warpgatey about my life, really. But it was just.
I just thought it might have been some sort of Watford hangout that you hung about in, because obviously up in Glasgow there's a place called Gallagate and all that sort of stuff. I thought it might have been something like that.
Yeah, no, it does sound like something campy that could happen in Watford, really. So but it's not. No.
Is she coming up now?
She's coming up now. Yeah, go and say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Miriam lost her first tooth yesterday.
Oh, wow. Did you get some money from the tooth fairy under your pillow?
Yes.
Yep,
How much did you get?
And obviously she was staying at Granny and Papa's house last night, so the tooth fairy was at it.
And how much did the tooth fairy give for your tooth? Was it 50p, a pound, or £2?
€5. Tell him €5.
€5.
€5?
Is that the rate of exchange over there?
That's the Granny and Papa rate.
That's the Granny and Papa rate for your first tooth.
Bless.
Right, you say bye-bye to everybody. Right, no,
Bye.
Bye, Mirren.
Bye.
She loves
Bye.
being on camera.
Oh my
Right, so
God.
now all we need is your kit to come on, and we've got to
No,
have the trilogy.
I've locked the door, mate. You do not want to see a naked William running around. Trust me.
Yeah, I think even Instagram would draw a line at naked Billy's running about.
We'd get banned.
Yeah.
It'd finally happen.
I think we're pretty much close to getting banned there when Casey sat down with his legs crossed, because if these shots were shots, we might have been seeing some things we didn't want to see.
Oh God.
This is a special stream. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Save
I mean
that for your OnlyFans, Casey.
yeah,
Blimey.
that's
Yeah,
the weirdest sex. That's the weirdest sex scene I've ever seen somebody build as well on live streams.
yeah. Sexy bed building. I'm going to claw towards the camera now. Fucking hell.
Oh God, Casey, calm down, son.
You can take the man out. You can take the man out of pen jab, but you can't take the pen out the man.
This is what happens when I can't paint a fence or do anything with a fence for a while. I go skate.
He had to leave because he was just getting hounded out the local area for being too sexy. There you go.
Yeah. So, see where you're living now, Sam. Is it a gated community you're in now, or
No.
kind of?
No, to be honest with you, the area that we moved to, we're right near an Air Force base in Florida, and it's one of the largest training facilities for special forces and the Ranger School down here. And there's a lot of jungle around here as well, sort of things, and a lot of heavy forest. So they do a lot of training. The Air Force base owns a lot of land all around us. One of the reasons why I like where we're living is they can't expand the area because we're completely surrounded by Air Force land, and it's federal land. They'll never sell it. So the development is not going to happen to an extent that it just gets mental. So that's the first good thing about it. But generally, Florida has a lot of older people that come and retire down here as well. So it's lovely and quiet where we live. You know, William, and there are other families and stuff around for William to play with, but in general it's just very nice and chilled, quiet. The weather's great, and we are, I don't know, like 45 minutes from Pensacola, which is the biggest, largest big city around here, or we're about an hour, about 45 minutes the other way to Panama City, which is the other sort of big city near us. But that's really it, dude. It's quiet. The crime rate here is pretty much non-existent, which is fantastic. And the schools are like A+ over here. So we really did think long and hard about where we wanted to be, and we visited it 2-3 times before we made the decision to move down here. But yeah, just in general, it's a really good place to live. So anybody that's in Florida, and if you're over this way, by all means, come sort of let me know. Just shoot me a DM, and I'll be happy to meet up and bring armies to play anybody down at the local shop or whatever. If anybody will meet up for a beer or dinner or whatever. So yeah, if anybody's ever over here.
So you near Fort Bragg then? Is it Bragg that does all the Ranger stuff?
So Bragg is up in Georgia,
right?
But the Ranger School here, there's a 82nd Ranger, I think it is, or 84th Ranger, is in Eglin. So there's Eglin Air Force Base here, and if you actually have a look at it on the map, it is like there's 8 different strips for aircraft here, and there's there's Hobart Field, which is one of the reconnaissance. There's just so much, dude. There's like Hobart Field, I think, is like reconnaissance and sort of like other stuff they do down there. Eglin's got F-22s and F-35s for the Air Force, so that is a major hub for that. And then there's the Ranger School and the Special Forces training here as well. But they do a lot from the aircraft. So it's all to do with aircraft. So there's C-130s flying over daily, dropping stuff out of a C-130 into the middle of nowhere, which is great. It's great seeing it. And then we have low flybys by F-22s and F-35s of them doing training, which is it's awesome. It's like a air show a lot of the time over here. And William loves it, so he looks up and he sees, you know, 2 fighter jets. You know, it's like watching Top Gun Maverick. You know, it's good fun.
Being in the military, if you don't already know, one of the best sounds I've ever heard was when we were doing a kind of live firing attack in Kenya, kind of as an exercise, and hearing artillery shells pass over your head.
Yeah.
That gets really hard. That is amazing. But we were in Fort Worth, which I think's in North Carolina. We did an exercise there, but I know, and they thought that we were all mental. Like, we were doing like fighting in houses, fibula, which is fighting in built-up living areas, and the Americans thought that we were absolutely mental because they just didn't know how to fight us. Once we took the village, we had to defend the village, and what our CEO decided was he would just put all his HQ in the middle and just let the jocks just run mental. So it was like an American battalion versus an American infantry battalion versus our battalion, and they never, because it took them about 10 hours to get 8 or 9 houses, because we were just running about mental. We had ammunition in every house, and if a section commander caught up with you, he would then lead attacks and re-attack the houses, and it was just, the Americans thought there was actually more of us than there actually was, and we actually loved it. But I think it's in Florida, wherever, I think it's maybe that military base is, there's a big kind of paratrooper training facility, and a load of paras go over there every year as well for like some kind of para wank off or something.
Yeah.
They all wank each other off or something and jump out. Paras are the worst, man. Paras and Royal Marines are the absolute worst people. If individually, they're absolutely fine, but get two or more together, and it's just like one brain cell, and it's just fucking idiocy, man.
You'll have to get Jonesy on here, because Jonesy's 82nd Airborne, but he's now an advisor. He's like quite high up. He's first sergeant of his battalion. He's a good lad. A lot of them are odd, man. A lot of them that have been in the military for like 20 odd years. They're odd guys, but the amount of shit that he's seen and done, I'm like, you can be odd, man. I've smoked cigars with him. I've gone. You can look on my Instagram. I met up with him because he was on training in Wisconsin when I was there a couple years back, and we smoked cigars. We had some beers on a kayak, and we went down the river for a few hours. And yeah, it was good, man. You know, some of these guys need a little bit of a R&R, serious R&R, and get away from it.
Yeah, one of the weirdest things that the paratroopers do in their training, when they've done their basic training and their infantry training, and when they go and do P company, is a thing called milling. Don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
So basically, everybody who's doing P company, because anybody can do P company, you don't have to be a paratrooper to go and get your wings. Anybody can do it, and the same as the Royal Marine Commander course, anybody can do it. But if you're doing P company, basically what they do is they get you in a small square, and they put boxing gloves on you, and you basically fight your best mate for 30 seconds, and it's just to show, and it's like, there's no blocking, it's just attack, and it's just like idiocy, do you know what I mean? And the Americans love that sort of thing as well, but paras are stupid. But anybody can do a P company, but too much hard work. It's just too much. Jumping out a perfectly good plane? Nah, you're not right. You're perfectly fine with that, bad boy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd still rather throw myself out of a plane than deal with big old spiders. Spiders are my number one no. And here down in Florida, spiders are my, like, I lived in Australia as well, and I got used to spiders in Australia, but not having them constantly around, living up in the Pacific Northwest and then moving down here, we have these things called wolf spiders down here.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably a good 4 inches, maybe 5 inches in diameter, some of them. But the weirdest thing for me that freaked me out, and it actually freaks a lot of people out that that are fine with spiders anyway, is they carry all of their babies on their back.
On their back?
Yeah. So there's like 50 to 60 different little mini spiders crawling around on the top of this big fuck off spider. And I'm just like, yeah, no, you're going to get burned. And, you know, they get a torch or they get thrown in. We get a lot throwing themselves into the swimming pool here. In my back garden, they just decide to fall off the tree into the pool, and then we end up having to fish them out. But they bite. They're quite aggressive little fuckers. So
I think they're one of,
they're non.
I think they're only one of the only spider species that don't actually make webs, and they hunt just by running and chasing things.
Yeah, it's
No,
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
not
here you go. Casey, so you understand now, Casey, why I said that. I would still rather throw myself out of a plane than deal with all of them. Yeah.
no. It's just
So
spiders in general. Like, why does anything need more than like 4 legs? I can understand for like dogs and cats and lizards and stuff, but like more than 4 legs, you're weird. Why you don't need that?
Yeah. And when spiders run like face huggers around, right, that's some serious shit, right? That's yeah. Spiders kill them with fire, blast them with piss, dirty little monsters. Yes, I agree, Comco. I really do. But yeah, no, and they get big here. They don't get as big here in northern Florida as they do down in southern Florida, but they still bigger than the usual house spiders up here.
yeah, you can just
See, that's what I was going to say.
It's kind of like a security system. You know what I mean? Have them chained to a kind of spider kennel. Do you know what I mean? Beware, will spiders on patrol.
The business of pest control here in Florida, you can be a millionaire doing pest control here because everybody doesn't want that sort of shit in their house, whether it be mosquitoes, whether it be spiders, snakes. We've got these things called no-eyed snakes here, right? And they got no eyes, right? They got no eyes. They're like a little black worm. They look like a earthworm, but they're completely black, but they actually move like a little snake. And they are more part of the snake family than a worm. And I've seen a couple of them; they're interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff around there, to be fair. But you know, you just get used to it.
See, this is the thing.
I
Like,
suppose coming from Watford, do you know what I mean? Like that's just the everyday normal run of the mill. You just created one Watford, which is pissing a rain and has fucking jelly deals to having no-eyed spider, no-eyed snakes. We just sun 24/7 with old wrinkly people cutting about in mopeds. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, it's not that a lot of people driving golf carts around here. So they'll drive on the road in their golf carts because they're like, don't give a shit. But yeah, no, it's not too bad. You know, apart from the wolf spiders, there's not really been that much to worry about. There's a few grass snakes and other bigger snakes around there as well. But yeah, not anything really major. It's been pretty easy. Everybody said, I think a lot of the locals say, oh yeah, there's so many bad things around here, yada yada yada, because they don't want people moving here. They really don't. So they make it sound a hell of a lot worse than it really is, and it's pretty gorgeous. So yeah.
And now that you've moved in, they'll just say, look, we've got this English specky guy. It looks like Jesus. You know what I mean?
Looks like Jesus, really? Oh, thanks. I'd take that as a compliment.
I don't know where I was going with that there, to be honest with you. I'm actually out my face in painkillers the last 2 weeks, and honestly, I'm absolutely fucked, like. Sorry.
I'll jump in away from the Jesus stuff. I think just talking about like the madness of Floridian wildlife, it is like a different planet altogether, akin to like certain parts of South America, like you referenced Australia. Because a few times I've been there, and I know like when I've gone to the more touristy bits down in the middle and the south. But you're getting lizards running around in the street. You've got nets and mesh on all the doors to stop all the wasps and stuff the size of your fist flying into your house. It's just there. It's like there's a reason it was a swamp, and swamps aren't meant to be lived in.
Yeah, the weather's good though, but you know, honestly, where I live, they used to call it Boggy Bayou there's the town's name to start with, because it is very, very marshy around there and those sort of things. But they renamed it in like the early 1900s, and it's a nice little town. And as I said, but I that's South Florida. South Florida has all the wackos running around trying to eat people's faces and all of that. Whenever the typical Florida man. That
Yeah.
thing, that's Southern Florida, dude. Down in Miami and Orlando and Tampa, those sorts of places, it's a different world down there, dude. It's so many weirdos, and where I am is a hell of a lot quieter. And as I said, I didn't want to move down there near all of that. And the temperature down there, there's a big difference in the temperature. It takes me. Like to get down there, I think to Orlando, we looked at it, it was like 7 or 9 hours of driving it takes us to get round and down there. So it's not like close by. To get
Yeah.
us down to the Everglades, where we want to go and visit and do the Everglades and get on one of those airboats and stuff, I think it's like 11 or 12 hours worth of driving. So it's going to take us a couple of days worth of driving to get down
Nah, fuck
See,
that, man.
that's
Like, the Everglades have fucking Burmese pythons, fucking alligators, and then, like, if I was to this, if people were to ask me what's your first thought of Florida, it's that Instagram post where some guy's fucking poodle gets snatched by an alligator and then he jumps up and starts punching fuck out the alligator. Nah, you're fine, man. Do you know what I mean? If you're at Disney World and you're in fear that your kids might get eaten by fucking alligators or gobbled up by a Burmese python. No, you can keep that shit.
I mean, you're not wrong, to be fair. We
That's
went
why. That's
when
why I
we
live in Ireland. St Patrick the Welshman steered all the snakes away. So no, you're all right.
when
yeah,
when I was last over there, we went to the Kennedy Space Center because
yeah,
it was like a big family trip. My niece was with us, and like she was learning about astronauts and stuff at the time. And I just remember driving down this road. You get to the Space Center, and before you can get even into the bit where like all the rockets and shit are, you've got to get on a bus and drive for another half an hour because obviously all the security and
yeah.
everything in it. But you're driving down this road, and this bus driver is just like alligator, 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 and you're like, nah. Why? Who chose here to launch rockets? Oh, look, the astronauts are going to get into space. No, they're not. Eaten by an alligator.
Oh.
Just like,
So
why?
the shark population around where I am at the moment is another thing to talk about. The gators,
Oh, no,
I'm
not
fine.
shocked.
I'm fine. I'm fine with gators, to be honest with you. They actually do fishing tours here where you can get a tag to go and actually shoot. You don't even go fishing for a gator. You go and shoot a gator, right? And you can go and pop one, and then you can, for the price of it, you get to take the meat back because you can actually eat alligator. It's actually not too bad a meat to put on steaks and chuck it on the barbecue. But you get to have the skin of it as well, and they give you the skin of it and make two sets of boots out the gator skin for you as well. So yeah, there's fun available, but sharks at the moment, sharks have been a major issue locally around here. They're always going to be around the ocean, but there's been a lot of them coming up to the coastline where a lot of the people, like 20 minutes south of me is the Gulf Coast, and there's been a lot of them there that and they come to like breed. And
Yeah.
when bull sharks and tiger sharks are in breeding season, they're a bit feisty. So I think we've only had like 2 or 3 attacks, but they've been yeah, it's been interesting. But yeah, apart from that, you can go shark fishing here as well. They were protected for a while, but the shark population has recovered so well that they're actually thinking they need to kind of cull them a little bit and bring them down a little bit as well locally here. So
Nah, as we've discussed previously, sharks and wasps. Nah, I'm done. I'm done with that. Like, my worst fear would be someone to make a shark wasp hybrid. Oh, that
Don't bring that up again.
that would like. I'm not scared of wasps, right? When my son was 6, 7 weeks born, a wasp flew into his pram, and I ran away from the pram because I'm scared of wasps. Like, he would have to have fought that wasp off himself. And as far as sharks, I am not going in the water deeper than my ankles. There's no chance. I watched Jaws when I was 4 years old, I'm
Oh,
petrified ever since.
yeah,
Nah, you're all right.
yeah.
Done.
Nah, I've swam in when I lived in Hawaii a long time ago now. That going swimming and seeing like sharks, like white tip reef sharks there, which aren't particularly aggressive at all. They'll rather just swim around, but just getting used to them. I was more scared about barracudas, to be honest with you. Swimming with barracudas over there, they are aggressive, and they, as a pack, will tear you a new one. So yeah, there is a lot of different things. The main thing that we've got here in that they actually pay you to catch is lionfish at the moment.
Yeah.
So lionfish were someone, I think, in the 80s brought them in from South Asia, and they had four of them, and they accidentally dumped in a hurricane. Their aquarium got washed in, and the lionfish got washed into the ocean as part of it all. And they've bred so much here in Florida. They're actually eating a lot of the local population, and they're just aggressive. So they actually pay people to catch lionfish now, and you get people scuba diving, shooting them with a gun, putting them in a bag, and then they take that bag and then they get paid for it because they're just everywhere down there, and they're venomous. They've got venomous like quills on the top of them
Yeah.
that will.
Yeah, I read that they're an invasive
Yeah,
species and they're just like mental as well. Nah, you're all right, man.
yeah.
Nah,
But it's good
you're
fun,
good.
man. Like, as I said, it's a lovely place to live. It's super lovely. You know, if I survive to like I'm 70 or something to probably be one of the old people here, I've done well. But no, it's good. It's golden. There's a lot of good positive stuff around here. And as I said, you get over the wasps over here. You would love the size of the wasps. They are mental, really
Nah, you're
big.
all
They're
right.
they're probably so the big ones. They've got ones that actually eat cicadas. So cicadas are like big old like beetle type things, and they have wasps that will actually kill those suckers, and they're big as well. But we don't have any of those murder hornets that are in Asia
Oh no.
that I'm aware of. They
Oh,
are massive.
these Japanese bastards.
Yeah,
Oh,
Japanese, Chinese, something like that. Yeah.
nah, man, like, nah. You're fine with your wasps and your sharks. I'll just stay in Donegal. Do you know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
with here's a question. I know this is something that obviously always pops up. Let's bring it back to hobbying a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, given the humidity and temperature in Florida, how does your paint survive?
It's all right actually because the aircon's on in the house, and I'm always painting in the house. I don't go outside. I got a
Hmm.
water trap. I got a water trap on my airbrush for airbrushing, and it's actually been decent. The humidity it builds up, and I've got to drain it probably every month.
Hmm.
The water that builds up in the air. But apart from that, it's all right. It's not too bad. The paints, like my wet palette, I filled up about 2 weeks ago, and it's still good. As long as you keep the top of it. If you don't put the top back on your wet palette, it will dry out in a few hours.
Yeah.
There's no messing around with that. But if you keep stuff, relatively, sorted, it's fine. It's not been as bad. I actually asked the guy. He's called Next Level Painting. I don't know if you know him, but I asked him because he moved from California down to Florida, and he's South Florida. He's down near like Orlando. And I
Hmm.
said, "What's the humidity like for painting?" And he said, "Dude, if you're in an air condition, everybody's got aircon over here, so it's very weird to find a house that hasn't got air conditioning, but everybody's got aircon." And he said, "Yeah, as long as you're not painting outside, you're good to go." So it's not been
Good.
as bad as I thought it might be. So that's good.
Yeah, because that's obviously I always like it gets a little bit hot over here, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, my paint!" And I'm not going to lie, I've done that, but it's constant there, isn't it? So I think it's just one of those things that
You get
you
used
you
to it.
evolve. You have to like
Yeah.
get used to, don't you?
You get acclimatized to it. When we first got here, we were like, "Oh God, this humidity, it's a bit oppressive type thing." But it lasts for like 2-3 days, and by the end
Hmm.
of it, like you give yourself a week, 2 weeks, you start getting used to it, and it's normal. And now if it drops below, I'm trying to work out what it is. If it drops below like 25 degrees Celsius, I'm cold. That's the crazy thing is it did drop the other day below that, and I'm putting some sweatpants on and a hoodie, and like, and then you talk to people back in the UK, and it's like 28, and everybody's like, I can't breathe, I'm gonna die, and I'm like, oh God, seriously. But yeah, you get used to it, and you know, when it hits like 40, 45 degrees, then it starts to get a little bit hot. But yeah.
No,
So
I can imagine.
you're doing your Nonce Warriors just now. What's your next project?
So I'm glad you asked me that. I've got a Kickstarter that I'm actually launching in September. And it is, let me show you what we're doing. So it's going to be World War II themed. So with the introduction of Bolt Action Volume 3, their third edition, we've been, myself and some guys called Nerdworks, have been designing some buildings, some scenery and terrain that's got all inside, and these are printed on FDM. But this is going to be my next project, is painting some of these up for the Kickstarter to make them look all pretty, get some stuff done. But yeah, there's some seriously, you know, good, nice sort of scenery for people, and we're going to do a Kickstarter, make it relatively nice and cheap for people to buy the files to print themselves. Not sure if we're going to offer the option to print them as well for people that want to get physical product. But yeah, we're doing other little bits like little roadside mausoleums from France. There's all modelled on 1944 Carentan. So that first sort of big town that the airborne, American airborne hit, that town is all modelled on that. But the good thing that we're doing that no one else has really done is that with these models, we've designed them 3 different ways. So we've got this version is a fully complete solid house. We're going to get some windows in here and all that sort of good stuff as well. So this is a fully perfect house. We're then going to do light damage on some of them. So you'll see that some of them have got like bullet marks and cracks on and those sorts of things from, you know, damage. And then we're going to have heavy damage, and they're going to be like really severely like hit by a mortar shell or a tank shell and taking it out. So there's going to be the 3 different levels of each house has got. Is going to be, you know, we're going to do a ruined house, we've got a ruined middle part, and then ruined base, and you'll be able to make so many different variants of the same house for a town based on those 4 buildings.
What was the who came up with that idea? Who was the brainchild behind that?
I came up with the idea because I knew from talking to some folks at Bolt Action and Warlord Games back in Nottingham, I knew that they were planning on bringing out the 3rd edition for Bolt Action this year. And I wanted to kind of get some good, cheap, I say cheap, but good, solid terrain for people that was cost effective for them to do. So when we launch the Kickstarter, you will be able to pay whatever we're going to charge for it, but make pretty much a town's worth of terrain from those files. Yeah, you'll be printing it yourself type thing, and it'll be, but the cost of printing something like this is like, you know, 50p maybe, you know, 25p to print this in FDM plastic. So for that, you know, in that respect, making it nice and cost effective for people to have really good looking boards with a town, you know, 1944 Carentan board. That was big for me. I want to make good scenery affordable for folks. And we're doing it in resin, we're doing it in the FDM plastic to kind of show people what you get with it and all that sort of stuff. But it's been taking months. We've been working on it for a good solid while now. It's myself and Nerdworks, the guys, and we've been just hammering it out. I'll show you some other sneaky peeks that we're doing as well here. So one of the stretch goals for it is some French resistance posters that you can actually put on the side of your houses, and these are stickers that you can just literally take off, stick down. You can rough them up, you can weather them, whatever you want to do, and then just literally give them a varnish, and you're good to go. So there's lots of cool little things we're doing with it to make it look as authentic as possible.
Because terrain is so expensive as well. So if you're looking to go and play a game, or even play a game in your house, you're actually looking at your own stuff you've got kicking about to make your own stuff. But I mean that's fantastic, man. That's brilliant. I'm really looking forward to seeing it all painted up and some finished products.
Yeah, and you'll see from my post earlier, I was attaching a chimney onto one of the buildings, and I've got to get some of them posted. I've got some 82nd Airborne troops from Warlord games that I've got to paint up as another project to go with them, so I can actually kind of show scale and all of that sort of jazz with it as well, sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be. We'll be getting it out in September. You'll see some more sort of announcements on it for coming up to sort of September, October time. September 23rd, I think, is when the third edition Bolt Action comes out. So we're hoping to get it around that time, so that we can benefit from everybody getting the hype from that game as well, sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully it should be a great little project.
And has there been a lot of interest so far?
We've got some people that are getting involved in it and are painting up some of us for us, and I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning. We've got Peachy. Peachy's going to be painting up one of the buildings for us. We've got interest from Pete the Wargamer, so hopefully Pete can fit some time in, because Pete's World War II. Peachy is good with World War II. We asked Duncan and the guys at Two Thin Coats to do it. They don't get involved in Kickstarters, unfortunately. They only paint up stuff that is readily available from retailers, but just because they get so many requests. And Duncan wanted to, and I might actually send him a set anyway, so he can use it in the backdrop of his World War II stuff when he does paint tutorials anyway. But yeah, we've got a few good folks that are going to be painting some of them up for us, so that we can showcase them, see what people can do with the kits, and yeah, it should be fun. If you guys want to paint one up, I'm fine sending you one over if you want to paint some World War II stuff up.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That sounds good. And anything else Warhammer related? Like, I know you were working heavily on your Tyranids there before you moved.
Yeah.
Like,
I've got old world stuff to do. I've got some goblins that I got from old world and some of that sort of stuff. I've got some commissions to do. I've got to paint up 2 Gotrek Gurnisons from Age of Sigmar, which my thoughts on Age of Sigmar and how ecstatic I am to be painting up that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, that's fine. It'll be good to get that out of the way. And then I've got Rabute Gilliman commission that's come in as well, sort of thing. So got to get that done. But honestly, Dunk, it's whatever I see on the table and whatever's good, I'll grab and paint. It's whatever I feel like. That's what I love with this hobby. It's like, if I feel like doing some more stuff, then great. I've got another Kickstarter that someone wanted me to paint up. I'll give you a quick show of that. Which is kind of fun as well. It's a company called War Scenery from Germany, and they've got these like Dawn of War scenery they do, and this is one of the defense turrets, Chaos defense turret from Dawn of War, and they've designed and 3D printed a load of scenery for Dawn of War. So you can print off your own and buy the files, and that Kickstarter's I think coming out next week, maybe in the next couple of weeks. So I've got to paint that up for them. I'm going to do some word bearers stuff on that, and but yeah, there's always stuff done. I'm always looking at stuff and painting stuff up, and I'm never gonna. I've got, even like, for my son William is into Bluey at the moment, and I've got models that I printed off for the grannies from Bluey, and so this is Bluey, this is Bingo. So I've got them that got to paint up. But the thing about it is that's bothering me is my OCD on painting. I can't just paint a pure colour and then leave it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to shade that, highlight that, and all that sort of jazz. So we'll see how it goes. But he wants me to paint them up for them. So yeah, it's kind of fun. But yeah. Nothing planned, Dunk. It's just all whatever. It's my desk and whatever I feel like painting, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of this hobby. Is like we all have a pile of expectation to be finished before we die, but it's getting through it, and then you see a new model, or you go and buy some new models, and something goes and sits in the background for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm a slow painter. Like, I'll paint 1 minute at a time. Like, I seen you when you were spraying your Emperor's Children, like with your board. I'll spray 1 or 2 models at a time. I can't do that 5 or 6 at a time. I've tried it, and then I'd end up getting distracted with the model that I'm painting. Like, I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, batch painting's a weird thing, and I think that's why, like, I like doing it because it's a different style of painting from competition or one-off pieces. Like, I like the painting one model and then just purely putting hours into it, making it looking great. But when you're doing an army, I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing 20 at a time. I'm like, I'll do 2 squads, hammer through, get all the colours on, then all the metal on, and then all the other bits and any gold bits or anything, you know, just dot dot dot. And it's kind of easy. It's a bit brain numbing because you're just doing the same thing on model after model after model after model. But then when you get around to finishing it off, you're like, da da, 2 squads done, and I'm good to go, sort of thing. So it's got its rewards, but it can get a bit boring.
So we're going to move away from hobby and go to food for a wee bit, if that's okay with you
Sure.
both. So, you've obviously, where was it you were before? Florida, sorry.
Portland, Oregon.
Oregon. What's the food difference like between Oregon and Florida?
So you got kind of, Oregon's got a lot of kind of Mexican, because that west coast is a freeway. The I-5 runs all the way down from like Canada all the way down to Mexico, so there's a big Mexican influence on the west coast. Lots of like burritos and tacos and those sorts of things. And yes, I've had to say it properly because coming from like North London area, I used to saying taco and tortillas, you know, and not tortillas and all that sort of stuff. But like down here in Florida, it's kind of weird. We've got big Cuban influence because we're so close to Cuba. We've got a lot of southern influence of cooking, so there's a lot of spicy stuff down here. And when I say spicy, you're near the Caribbean as well. So there's a lot of people like from Jamaica that have moved here. A lot of some of the other Caribbean islands. So like Scotch bonnet, spices and peppers being used is like around. And a lot of like the barbecue down there is amazing. It's stunning. There's a lot of dry rub barbecue as well as like some good barbecue sauces as well that they use. But southern cooking, man, you got like a lot of wings, a lot of fried chicken down here, and different types of fried chicken and like hot chicken sandwiches and those sort of things. There's a lot of because we're near Louisiana and those sorts of things. You've got like gumbo as well.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of Cajun stuff as well then?
Yeah, a lot of Cajun stuff. So the Creole Cajun style gumbo here will knock your head off. It's so spicy. The kind of, they've got this the different types of sausages. One of them's called an andouille sausage, and it's a very, very spicy sausage that they put in the gumbo with the prawns or the shrimp and other bits of seafood and those sorts of things. They call crayfish over here crawfish. Yeah, and they do a lot of boils where they will just grab prawns, crawfish, and like sausage and those sorts of things. It's beautiful. The food is very, very good. Hence why I've put on about 3 stone since I moved to the United States. You know, I used to be thin. I really did. But not anymore.
We all used to be thin, mate.
Yeah.
Like when I was in the army, I was 9 stone, and I'm now 20 stone. I mean, we're all thin at one point.
Yeah, it's a bit mental, but the food's good. I love the food down here, and you know, if anybody's traveling to the US, there's some good, solid kind of like American influence food. Like one of the best ones is Chipotle, a company called Chipotle. They do like burritos They're like it's like an American Mexican style place. It's not really authentic Mexican, but it's got a good like Mexican influence on it. And as they do burritos, tacos, and quesadillas and stuff like that, that's pretty good for anybody traveling to the US. But yeah, the South's good, man. There's some solid homegrown food down there. The southern influence, but then you have like Cuban, Creole, and other sort of influences as well. So it's good, very good.
And what's the biggest thing you miss from England?
Food-wise,
Food-wise.
food-wise, or just anything?
Food-wise.
Food.
Food-wise, I probably miss, and I'm really glad now that I found a place that I can get it. But decent bacon, like back bacon, like
Yeah.
that I miss a lot of not being able to get proper bacon, because the bacon over here is just streaky fat that they overcook in general, and it's just really like tough. It's like you can whack it. It's like a bit of cardboard when how they fry it over here. I'm not. That's not my jam. That never will be. But I found a nice little place in a place called Navarre, and it's called the British Peddler, and they actually ship in Danish bacon over here. And there's little homegrown treats that I've found over, like Ribena. They do Robinsons, juices and stuff like. You try and explain to people in America what dilute is. Like a dilute concentrate, and they have no idea, because they just brought up in a soda generation where they will just go out and buy Fanta, Sprite, Coke, and that's what they drink. But you try and explain getting orange Robinson's barley water or something like that, they're like, what? I think bacon's probably the number one, but the second I'll probably say is chocolate. Decent Cadbury's proper English chocolate or British chocolate is up there as well, because Hershey's chocolate is just not the same.
Next time I'm sending Casey, because I've sent Casey once. I sent him Cadbury's Mint Crisp and Golden Crisp. Was it, Casey?
Yeah, they're banging.
I'll send you some of that as well, Sam.
I'll send you. One thing I'm sending Casey, I'll show you now, because you can't. I don't think you can get them in the UK, and I'll send one to you as well. Is these? I'm not sure if you get them, but they're called hot tamales.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
I've heard of them, but I've never. What are they?
Okay, well, I'll send you both a pack. They will knock your head off. They are fierce. They're called fierce cinnamon, right? But they are spicy, sweet chocolate, like not chocolates, but candy. And but they are extremely cinnamony, and you eat them like candy. And then once you get over the original heat of, like, you eat like 5 or 6 at a time and start chewing it, it'll knock your head off. So, but they're great. And I don't know why they don't do them in the UK, but yeah, I'll send you some good candy.
But that's the good thing about this community as well, is not getting stuff off of people and sending stuff to people, but meeting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without Instagram, none of us would have known each other. I didn't know you existed up until 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that I didn't know Casey up until 2 years ago as well, we've never met, but we do a podcast together, is just mental in this modern day. Well, it's not mental in this modern day technology, but if you said that to somebody 6-7 years ago, that would have been so bizarre.
Yeah, I do. Like, you can say a lot of bad things about social media, and there is a lot of bad stuff about social media. It is what it is. I try and focus on the good stuff, and social media has opened up the world for me with meeting new people and getting to know people, giving them shit, having some banter, and actually, enjoying the company of people from all around the world. Like Dave, Pikey Dave's just joined the chat. Him being in Vegas. I'm going to be in Vegas in January for LVO, and I'm going to meet up with Dave and have a pint with him and a curry, and probably cause mayhem and burn half of Vegas down. But it's great meeting people like that have got an interest in a hobby that you actually become friends with. And you know, I love that, man. You know, any method that you can to meet new people, socialize, and share your love for a common goal. You know, like our hobby. I think it's brilliant because you know, if it, we there is still a lot of nerdiness around what we do as a hobby because it's, you know, it's not really understood by the majority of society. But for us to meet other people that are as nerdy as each other is great, man. I absolutely love it.
And obviously, we're speaking to you over the last couple of years. Like Casey putting up those stories and that about you earlier on, like we knew that you would take it. Well, Casey was taking a risk that you would take it in good form, and but you get to know the people, even though you've never met them
Yeah.
physically. You get to know them by speaking to them and appearing on their stuff, and you get coming on their stuff. You can have a good laugh. You can have a good laugh, and that's what it's about as well. It's not just about the painting; it's about having a bit of banter as well. I feel.
Yeah, totally. And I think like with the amount of people that have jumped into my streams should know by now. Firstly, I'm really glad that I've not been banned so far with the amount of people and random shit that we've talked about on my streams. So that's really good to start with. But secondly is the fact that I do it to have a laugh. I really love, you know, getting random people. I've had people on from Romania, you know, like Pikey's saying, we have a good crack about Jimmy Savile all the time. You know, Dave Pikey's got a thing about Jimmy Savile, and I think you need to see someone about it, to be honest with you, Dave. Yeah, if you can't laugh and enjoy your time on it, it's no point in being on it, and that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Richard Infernal Miniatures, where his love affair for Pat Sharp. I think he's, do you know what I mean? Like, he needs to get over that. Pat never touched you. Do you know what I mean? You just need to live with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You know, if you can't laugh and have a good amount of banter, there is no point being on here because there's so many random people, odd people that are on Instagram that, you know. And I think I'm glad that I've only been like blocked by a few people on Instagram in general for random stuff. But if they can't take a joke, then I really don't want them watching my streams or being part of my streams anyway. There is no part of, you know, that's not what I'm here for. I don't take it seriously. Someone asked me the other day about what I want to get out of Instagram. Why am I doing it? And honestly, I don't give a shit. I'm like, I could have 1,000 followers. I can have whatever I've got at the moment, followers. I'm not bothered about followers. If followers, you know, it really doesn't bother me. I'm not one of these people that looks at the metrics of how my posts are doing or whatever. I purely love, and I know that's hard to understand for some people, but I just purely love posting what I do, looking at other people's stuff, appreciating other people's paint jobs, and having a good set of banter with people. That's it, really.
I'm kind of the same. Like, I don't care if my channel grows, right? But I do. It's going to sound kind of contradictory at the same point. I do enjoy seeing the Inquisition grow with people, not just me adding people and me following them back, but people finding us and then following us. And if you unfollow us, then that's fine. But my wife was asking me about this. She says, like, what do you get out doing the Inquisition? And it's probably the same for Casey as well. I just enjoy it. Like, I don't care if there's one person watching or no people watching. I would feel sorry for the guest if it's like a brilliant guest and we're not hitting double digits on viewers. But I just enjoy like chatting to people like yourself and finding out about people's journeys as well. Especially having that first time person on, like Tactical Player, and I'll always go back to it. Dave versus Shark, like having him on and finding out his journey of how you only get into it through lockdown and now he's doing commission painting. I mean, that's one of the best stories out of the 51 podcasts that we've had. It's up there in my top 10.
I think like long term, if and when I retire in 20 years or whenever it's going to be, if I'm still doing Instagram, I'm still doing Warhammer, and there's an option for me to retire and do something and earn a little bit of money coming in from whatever I'm doing at the time, painting or whatever, then fantastic. But I don't look at it. I know there are some people that are already looking at it like a business, and they run their Instagram page as a business, and they need followers. They've got a Patreon and all that sort of stuff. Great, good for you. It's really not what I'm in it for. I'm in it to give abuse to people and have abuse given to me, paint fun models, enjoy myself, and socialize. That's really it for me, and that's what I like. And you know, everybody gets into it and gets out of it what they want. But I think it's important to understand that some people take it a lot more seriously than others, and that's fine. You know, if you want to take it serious and want to try and earn money from it and all that sort of jazz, then that's your prerogative. But those people don't seem to understand people that just really want to do it for fun and enjoy it, you know. So it is what it is. But yeah, but again, we're in a great hobby that allows us to do both of those things.
Yeah, and we're in a hobby now that we were up. I know we said it probably in every cast that we've done, you'd have been ridiculed in school for doing it. You know what I mean? You would have been laughed at and picked on and all that. And now that we're adults, it's more mainstream now, which is absolutely fantastic. There's more girls getting involved in the hobby, thanks to like Louise Sugden and Tiz Puts Paints and Models and all the other girls that are on social media and throwing their minis out. Do you know what I mean? Like, and bringing people that we don't necessarily chase everybody that's big within the hobby. Obviously, we've had like yourself on twice. We're so humbled that you've been on twice.
You're welcome.
We've had like, Duncan Rhodes and McNeil and all that. And people say, well, why don't you try and get more of those people on? Like, we enjoy bringing on the people that don't have a lot of followers and finding out more about people that follow us as well. And that's what that's what I enjoy out it. And Casey's probably the same. If he's stopped building his sixth one, he probably put some input into it. Yeah, there we go. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I said I'd be building a bed.
Honestly, man, the position of that camera and the way you're sitting,
I know.
honestly, it's giving fucking Babe Station vibes.
Christ almighty. With that beard on Babe Station, Jesus, you're going to give me nightmares.
Well, for only £2 a month.
£10 a minute, and it or something like that, wasn't it? But yeah, no, you're right. You're right about it all, dude. It's all about meeting new people, and that's why I'm not. I let anybody jump on my streams and join me painting. I've got, you know, people have said that to me. Oh yeah, you should just, you know, get Duncan on or get Peachy on and talk. And I've talked to like James Otero from Siege. He's a lovely guy, and I've spent some time talking to him and kind of interviewing him and talking to him about painting. But you know, I like mixing it up like what you guys have done, and just really open it up to anybody to be able to jump in and chat and talk about their hobby and the way they go about things. Because again, I don't have to be friends with all of the really popular people in the hobby. I'd rather be friends with everybody. And they're the other people are the more likely the ones to come up to you at a convention and say, "Hey Sam, how you doing?" And I love that, you know. So that for me is awesome. I'm really looking forward to Vegas in January and Adepticon in March next year. I'll be going to both of them, and really, you know, sort of like hammering out some interviews with some folks live. I mean, you know, if you want me to do, you know, an Inquisition Abroad episode for you and interview some folks, we could do that. But yeah, there'll be some good people there.
You could do what Casey was going to do, that thick salute. You could be the Dennis Pennis of the Inquisition and
Christ.
LVO.
Yeah,
I got a bit too drunk to do that day.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures that you posted, Casey. I was like, Christ, you have a few pints.
Yeah, a lot of pints.
Yeah, I gave you before. Like, but the thing that I like when I reach out to people and email people to ask them to come on is when they go, "But why do you want me on? What, my story's boring." I was like, "No, that's exactly why we want you to come on." Do you know what I mean? Like,
You're boring.
Yeah, because you're born with one, and but you can always tell somebody whenever you have somebody on who's never streamed before, probably like ourselves when we first started doing this. We were so nervous doing it when we first started doing it. Well, I was especially. But see, after 5 minutes, after they've opened up and they start chatting, you can see that nervousness, and they just start rambling, and then they start apologising for rambling. Like, no, that makes our job so much easier because we have little input. If you just want to keep rambling on about Citadel or whatever spicy Space Marine you're doing, whatever, like we love that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's also interesting because you've had so many different characters come on, then their personalities are so different. And yeah, the way that you've done it is that someone can like literally associate themselves with at least someone that you've had on because you've had so
Mm,
many different people.
that's a good point.
Um, and that is fantastic because there are so many different characters. There's very introverted people, very extroverted people around that do our hobby. You look at mini wargaming. You look at the two guys that run mini wargaming. You got Dave, who's just extraordinarily extrovert, and then you got the other guy that no one else really sort of like knows that much about him because he's so introvert
Yeah.
and doesn't really want to be on the camera. So
Right, mate.
there are these different characters that are out there. They're all lovely, but it's good for people to associate and know that their type of character is accepted in our hobby and is normal. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's it's what I encourage because you have very, very random people jumping on my streams from time to time, but it's all lovely, and as long as it's good natured and good banter, I don't care. Random people can jump on whenever. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love jumping on your streams, as I say. It's usually when I'm fishing, when people go, "Who's that?" in the dark, and then I have to put my light on,
Yeah,
and then like, "Is that where are you?" I'm fishing. It's like
yeah,
I love your vibe as well. It's like I've watched a lot of podcasts, so I kind of try and take wee bits from everybody and try and make it our own, and it's just that casual vibe that you have as well.
yeah.
It's just
Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm saving up at the moment for a new camera. I want to get a mirrorless camera that can go above me, so that I want to try and get like a double shot on Instagram. I don't know if it's possible, and it might not be possible going forward. I hope eventually it will be. But for me to set up a couple of cameras so that I can actually have my iPhone looking at me, so that I can see all the messages and everything else, and then another camera above, so everybody can actually see exactly what I'm painting, which would
well,
help.
see the I can't remember his name. No, art by Thomas, is it? Arte by that guy. That's the tattoo guy with the
Yeah,
dreadlocks. What's his name again?
he set up another account
Count.
and
Yeah,
and did that, and that's an interesting one to look at. I have looked at other things, and it might be on Twitch that I go, it might be YouTube I go, I don't know, but I do like the social aspect of Instagram, and people being able to jump in whenever they want. So
yeah, and that. I mean, that I was going to say about the Twitch thing because I know Cadian. I can't remember the guy's name, and I've just started following him, and he's on Twitch quite a lot, but he also mirrors his Twitch stream on his Instagram as
yeah,
well. But you can't join, but you can see your messages.
yeah,
But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. That's the good thing about Instagram is it's easier to add people in than it is with YouTube or
yeah,
Twitch to add
yeah.
people in, and that's why we've not moved to YouTube yet because I'm still trying to figure out how to have more than one person, including myself, on
Yeah, well,
YouTube.
and that for me is that you take away the social
Yeah,
aspect of it if you jump on the Twitch, and then the whole thing that I'm going for is the social aspect of it. It's not so much about I'm showing you a technique or showing you how to do something. I can say that for YouTube and do YouTube videos on that. For me, Instagram and doing Instagram lives is more people jumping in, and it's kind of like a social club where people can kind of jump in, say hello. It's a familiar thing for them just to watch for half an hour or whatever, at whatever time in the world they're at, and just enjoy it really, and have it. And the one thing I do want to do is to encourage people to paint, because people sometimes, like I know Pikey sometimes, Pikey Dave over in Vegas. I'm doing it in the evening, and it's sometimes me telling him, get your paint stuff, jump on, and he'll use it as motivation to jump on and paint for an hour or two. And I love that because, you know, people like and sometimes need a bit of a kick up the arse to get painting and motivate them to paint. So if my little streams can do that and people can get more painting done, then I'm happy. So
Right, guys, I'm going to have to jump off here. Like, I'm really struggling with my arm tonight, hence all the twitching and moving about. So I'm going to have to just duck out here.
all right.
I'll keep watching in the chat if you want to continue on. Sorry, Sam, but
No,
I'm just
no,
really struggling.
you're good.
Mate.
We can finish it up,
Yeah.
mate. It's fine. You've called
Yeah.
me Jesus. You've called me Jesus tonight, and you've said that I'm extremely good looking. So I'll take it, Dunk. And you know, I'm very happy with that. You don't have no recollection of saying that, do you?
Not that you are good looking.
There you go. Well, we'll have to re-look it back on the video. You're fine.
I'll edit that out, though. I'll edit it out. So there we go.
And no one needs to skip there at my groin for the rest of the night.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Your OnlyFans / Babe Station shots. So yeah, thanks for that, Casey. Appreciate it.
And how's the sex track? Is it completed yet, Casey?
no.
And on that bombshell, folks. Yeah, Sam, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate you giving up your time and your own streaming time, because you're usually on at this time of the day as well.
Yeah, it's all right, mate. As I said, I've got stuff to get on with, but I'll go back to work now for an hour or two, and then I'll be streaming later on this evening. So it's all good.
I'll follow up with this pain anyway. So, guys, I'm going to bounce off here. Casey, I'll give the final words to you, pal.
It's hot. Don't build beds when it's hot.
All right. Thanks for that, Casey, mate.
I'll catch you all later on. Toodaloo.
Thanks, love. Cheers, dude. Bye.